Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. I have a project share for Scrapdiva Designs, and I was already recording you guys and my phone kept going off, so part of the tutorial is ruined. So I had to start over, and I want to share with you what I was making. She sent me the heart-shaped soap shaker dies, and you get two different sizes in it, and you get the layering pieces. The only thing is that the main piece, it cuts out hollow in the center, so you don't get a silhouette with this die. So I remember a while back, I don't remember what company it was, came out with a type of shaker that it was for you to gift sequins in a bottle. So I thought, I'm going to see if I can create that with this. And I was able to achieve it with this. And so all you have to do is pull out the pump part, and it's open there for the sequin to come out. Now I'm not going to shake it out because I don't want to make a mess, but that's how you do it. And when you close it, you got to make sure you can see the V where it fits right in. So you got to make sure it's nice and wedged and snug, that it's not going to come out. And if I was going to send this to someone, I would actually put it in a bag where it would be the same. I would leave no room for the cap to come off at all. So I would make sure it was nice and snug in there so it wouldn't come out. And of course you got to make sure that your acetate piece is nice and adhered, so nothing comes out of your sequin mix, but you can fit quite a bit. I could get all of this bag in here if I wanted to, but in my tutorial I was showing you how to fill it and everything was ruined. So anyway, so I had started sharing with you how I had cut this piece twice in heavyweight cardstock black. But because this comes out, I needed to make a template to glue behind it so the centerpiece wouldn't come out. And I used this die to cut the template and to glue it on the back. That way, by gluing it on the back, it kept the frame, the edge and the inner part glued together. And then I glued another piece where it would look nice and finished. And I did cut off the pump part because when you do the back side of any die cut, it's scratched up from the scratches in your plate. But I was able to just cut the pump part off and turn this the way I needed it to be so it wouldn't have any scratches. And that's how I got that. So there is a heart that I cut with this template sandwiched in between these two layers so these pieces don't come out. And then I cut another piece with this out of designer paper to put in the center. And I also cut this piece out of very thick foam. And there's the thickness of the foam, is pretty thick. And I pick this foam up at Michael's whenever I go. And I get it in white and I get it in black. And I'm not sure if they have it in other colors, but I know I always pick it up in black and in white. And this die does cut through it. I use my Big Shot, the hand crank one. And when it comes out, it's still intact with the edge. And I kind of just pry the edges off and leave this whole thing together with the center until I'm ready to use it. And what I did when I cut that out is, I'll use a pointer. I cut the foam straight down right here, this way and this way. So this would be the cork or the plug or the cap to my shaker container. So I just cut it straight down. And I glued the rest of this, which is this right here. You can see it right here. I glued this portion down, but left that open. So this plug will fit in here to close the bottle when I have the shaker bits in it. So that's how I did that. On the other one, I didn't leave a backing on it. I did, at first. Then I cut it off and thought, I don't think I like it that way. I think I want it to have more support. So in this one, I left it on and I did double it up, so it's double thickness. Okay, so we have the center there. And I was showing you how I do my acetate sheet. And what I do is I get a piece of paper and I score it like so, big enough to cut my die with. And that one I did it on the side. If I had thought about it, I would have done it on the bottom. I would have lined up the bottom of my die right above the score line, because you don't want it to cut on the score line. So I would line my die right there. I hope you can see that. And the blade would not cut where that score mark is, and I would have a frame, because I like to sandwich. Here's my frame. My acetate sheet in between two layers of paper. I feel like that's more secure. And I did use double-sided tape, score tape, to glue this on, and the 1/8 inch, because it's narrow enough that you can manipulate it and go around the edge. And I put it on both sides of the frame because you got to glue the front and the back to the acetate. So after I have one side down, it's easy for me to do the other side. So I'm just going to line them up and close it up. There has been so much noise in my house today, you guys, that I haven't been able to do my video, my tutorial. So there it is, and now I can go back and trim off whatever excess I have from on the acetate, because I'm just going along the edge of the frame and cutting that off. And I think I have another piece right up here that I can see. So my acetate is now sandwiched in between two layers of paper, which means that that when I go to glue this, it's easier to glue it than if I were to try and glue acetate to the foam. It's easier to glue paper than acetate to it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to glue this piece here. And I am going to use, this glue right here. I think this one works really well with foam. I think it works really well with foam, but you do have to give it a little bit. So I'm going to add this one here, and then on the frame I'm going to use double-sided tape. So that's what I'm doing. Just adding this. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this video, you guys, because I hear a lot of noise still in my kitchen. So this glue, you leave it for a little bit and it turns, I think it turns white because it's coming out blue. And you leave it for a little bit and then you can glue the two pieces together. But while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to take this piece and I am going to add also double-sided tape to this one. And I am using the 1/8 inch score tape. If you have the red liner tape, that would probably be better because I think it's stronger than the score tape. But this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. And I'm just going to follow that edge and curve the tape, and you will get little creases in it, but it still works. It still works. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to crease it and turn the corners wherever we need to, and we're going to work this tape all the way around the edge on this piece of acetate window, on this acetate window. And this is a great way to give a sequin mix, because you're supposed to make a shaker, but you know, to make a shaker where they can actually open it up and use the sequin mix is really nice. And whoever came up with that idea, Genius. I thought that was a very clever design, but I didn't buy it myself. I wasn't able to get it. And I don't even know if it's even available anymore, to be quite honest, because I don't remember the company. So this has glue already in there, and this glue gets really tacky. It's a little wet, so I'm just going to dab it with my finger and get a little bit off. And then I'm going to add my piece of, I'm going to add my little window. I don't need to put the sequin in right now because this is going to be packaging for sequin. It's not really going to be a shaker. If I could get it off my fingers, I would be doing good. Can I have my finger back? Okay. So here we go. Here is our shaker. And I am going to add paper to this foam because I like it to have paper. But this will go in here. Oh, did I have tape there? I sure did. I messed up, you guys. I'm going to see if I can fix that. I should not have put... Let me see if I can take it off. If I can take it off, I'll be able to remove it. Yep. It wasn't glued down yet. Do not add tape to this opening like I just did. I'm going to see if I can take mine off. Yep. So I cut off that portion. So this opening right here, so in that area of the acetate, don't put any tape on there because that is going to be where your little plug to your shaker is going to be. So you need to make sure that your plug can go in there and not being glued down to that tape, because then you won't be able to get it off. So let's try this again. I have had so many interruptions today, guys, that it's been horrible. That normally doesn't happen, you know, when I say I'm recording or if I'm by myself. Usually I can get stuff done, but today was not one of those days. So here it is, and if I were to put sequin in, I could just push the plug in and it wouldn't come out. Of course I would straighten it up. It's not straight right there, but so make sure that you give it time to dry. So now if I wanted to put, I did fix a shaker mix in. I have it right here. Here is my shaker mix that I'm going to add to this. I'm not going to put it in yet because I'm going to go ahead and add the frame. I had all my pieces cut out. Okay, so here is my frame for this. So I'm going to use the same as the designer paper that's inside. And then this piece, I want the cap to be silver, so I'm going to glue this to the cap, and then I'm going to cut off the extra pieces. So that's what we're going to do there, and I'm going to use this glue for that. I do really like the way this glue works. When it's not too wet, it gets really tacky. But a lot of people use glossy accents, or they'll use red liner tape. So I mean, whatever you normally use and it works for you, use that. So for this, there is a score mark. You can see the score marks, probably not with the naked eye. Let me grab my scissors. But there is a score mark right there. There's a V right there, and that's where I'm going to cut this portion off because I'm not going to need that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. I don't need this portion right there. I just need this to glue it to the frame. And because this is paper on top, I will be able to use glue. So I'm going to go ahead and add my glue. In this case, I am going to add glue to the whole thing because it's not going to be in the way of that little plug, because that's already protected by the acetate. And I'm going to glue this to the top of my shaker, hopefully lining up. And take your time when you're doing this. For the sake of the video, you know, I'm having to do it a little faster, but take your time when you're doing this, because then you're going to get really good results. So there's that. And here is that portion, and I'm going to add this to there, and I am going to cut some of it off, but I'm not going to cut it until I know where to cut. So I'm going to line this up. Then I'm going to turn it to the back, and I'm just going to cut straight down because I can see where it needs to be cut. So I don't need that portion. And I think I'm going to take glue, and I'm going to glue this one to the back as well, so the back will be nice and neat as well. This is kind of tricky because it's like a pearl, but I'm hoping that it will stick. Sometimes, you know, when your paper has a certain finish, it's harder to glue it in place. So I'm going to take this one. I don't think I have another black one anywhere. If I had another black one somewhere, I would definitely use that one because it doesn't have a finish. It's a matte piece of paper. I guess I should have cut a whole nother piece like I did the silver, because this one doesn't go all the way down, and I'm having to wipe the glue off or else it will stick for sure. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it. I always keep a paper towel handy to dab that extra glue off so I won't have any issues when I close it. Then they will never get the sequin out. Yeah. So there it is. There's the plug. There's the plug. Let me get the glue off of me. So when we add sequin to this, and I'm going to do that right now, I did a little mixture of sparkly bits with black. And let's get some of it in here. And I've got some beads. Come on. So you do have to do this slowly because the opening is not very big. And you don't want the opening to be very big anyway, because then you would have problems with if it spills, a lot of it will spill out. So I'm just working the sequin in. You know, ideally you want to let this glue set and dry and all that good stuff, but see the sequin in there? So I'm just going to add that little bit. I am going to add the rest of that, but I'm going to do it off camera after I'm done with the tutorial, because you guys don't need to sit there and watch me struggle with sequin. So I've got all of it in there. So this is going to be my plug, and in the silver you can see the little edge, that little score mark right there, so you can see how far this needs to go into the shaker. See, that's how far it needs to go into the shaker. So I feel like it needs to go down some more. So there is the shaker holder. And then I have this word right here that says sparkle. So I'm going to add it on. I'm going to try this. I'm not sure if it's going to work, because it's just glue or glitter glue. It actually barely arts. And I'm hoping it's going to work. We'll try it. It says sparkle on there, and I'm going to put it straight across, and I'm hoping that it will stay down. And then we have the bow, which I'm going to add right there with, I'm going to use tape. You might want to use hot glue. I'm going to use tape because it's foil, and the tape will stick better than wet glue. I'm just having all kinds of trouble today, guys. Come on. And then you just glue this to your cap or to your plug. And hopefully this will stay. Look at how cute that is, you guys. It is super cute, and it's a great way to give shaker bits. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that y'all understood everything that I did. Because of all the interruptions, I lost some of the footage because there was just too much noise, too much going on. But I'm hoping that you understood how I did it. And I do like it better with a back to support it. I think it's better, me personally, but you know, you do it however you want to do it. I mean, this is still wet. The sequin is sticking to it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. But yeah, I think it's a super cute way to give out sequin. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone's having a great day. Remember, I will link everything in the description box below. Everything that I have been playing with from Scrapdiva Designs. And use the code C2C10 for 10% off. That will help you at least on your shipping. And I hope that you give this a try. And of course, you won't be interrupted like I was. But, you know, take your time, line everything up right. Because, you know, you want to have your presentation to be on point. And when you're doing a tutorial, it's a little bit more difficult because of the time constraints. But other than that, it's not very hard to do. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and God bless. Bye.